Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. How is things going, people? I hope everybody has been well out there. It's been a couple of rough weeks, the past couple of weeks for myself, hence why there's been no podcasts. It's been kind of rough. Got some bad news from my brother. His wife's father was really ill and unfortunately passed away. And so that was taking a toll on everybody. And then the Sony Open was this past weekend. Well, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And one of our local guys, Hunter Larson, qualified for the Sony. And so myself and Dustin and Leland, you guys may remember them from the podcast a couple of weeks ago, we decided we were going to go over and show our support for Hunter and follow him around. And normally I don't know about you guys, but when I started coming out here in 2001, the first couple of flights I took out, when I got off the plane, like the next day, I would be sick, like with a cold. And I was like, the first time I didn't think nothing about it. And then the second time it happened again the following year. So somebody had told me about those emergency packets. And so I started drinking those. You just add it to water. It's a powdered thing, and it's got a lot of vitamin C in it. And now they make these Immune Plus packs to help boost your immunity. And so I started drinking those a couple of days out before I would get on the flight to come out, and I didn't get sick. So then I just made that my routine. I was like, okay, every time I'm going to get on the plane, you're in a confined space. People are coughing and hacking up sometimes, or sneezing or whatever. And so that air is just getting filtered around. I don't know. Maybe they have, I doubt it, but maybe they have some type of filter on the plane that kind of filters that stuff out when it goes through the filtration system. But, so I just started drinking those and it's always worked for me. I never got sick after that. And even on inter-island flights, just going back and forth, like last year when I was flying over to Maui and Kauai and Oahu for those tournaments, I would drink them because I just didn't want to get sick. And it's always worked. Well, we go over to watch Hunter at the Sony on Oahu, and I didn't drink any. I didn't even think about it, actually. And we come back, and the day after I came back, I was sick. So I was down and out. I didn't think you guys wanted me to get on here and be coughing and hacking up the whole time. So I wanted to wait till I was healed up. And so this week it was good to go. And then Dustin also got sick, but he got sick just, not that week, the weekend, but this past week he had been sick. So he just came back to work today. But anyhow, that's been my last couple of weeks. Been a little rough, but we're back at it. I hope everybody out there has been good. Hope everybody's staying healthy. I'm getting reports back from the East Coast in Ohio that the snow and the crappy weather is there. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Anyhow, so Beach Boys played Coral Creek yesterday, and I like to report on the Beach Boys as far as them playing because I want you guys, if you're interested and want to play with them, you're more than welcome to do that. Even if you don't live here and you're just coming out to visit and you're going to be here over a Monday and you want to go and play with these guys, it's going to get you a reduced rate at the course. You're not going to pay the tourist rate if you're playing with the Beach Boys group. You'll play the club rate. So that's a big, big discount at a lot of the golf courses that you guys are going to play if you come over here to visit. But if you do live here, or on Oahu, I should say, and you want to play with those guys on a regular basis, you can do that. All you got to do is go to beachboysgolfclub.org and contact those guys and let them know you're interested in playing. And it's a good thing. You don't have to play every week. You can pick and choose what weeks you want to play, but there are some advantages to playing every week. You get more points. You get a chance to finish in the money at the end of the year. They do have games that you play. And I think Rob just told me here not too long ago that they changed it, that now it's mandatory to get into all the games except for, I think, the long and short par 3. But everything else you got to get into, because there was a couple of guys that would come out and play. They wouldn't get into all the games. So they changed that rule for the club. So like I said, if you guys are interested in playing with those guys, just go to beachboysgolfclub.org and send them a message and let them know you're interested in playing. The next group, Dan Messner's group, STB, Shank It, Tank It, or Bank It. Those guys, they played Mamala Bay last Saturday. And then this Saturday, they will play Mililani. Now, those guys don't play every week, but it seems like these last 2 weeks they've been playing back-to-back. If you're interested in playing with those guys, like I've said before, they have a Facebook page, STB. And you can go to their Facebook page and make contact with them about joining their group and playing. Like I said, they don't play every Saturday, but they play a lot of the Saturdays. It looks like they've been playing more Saturdays here recently than they were when they first started out. But that's another good group of guys. They're and you're also, like I said, you're going to pay a little bit of a discounted rate because it's club play. So the VGA, they started their season back up. They played Mililani Golf Course Saturday, and then their next tournament is going to be January 27th, and that's going to be at Kaneohe Clipper. Again, another great group of guys to play with. I miss playing with all these guys, man. I moved over here to the Big Island, and I don't get to play with these guys as often, although I am going back to Oahu the 24th and 25th of February for the 4-ball tournament, myself and Joe P. You guys remember Joe from the podcast. We are going to play the 4-ball tournament again this year and give it a run. And so I am going to end up playing, I think that following Monday, I'm going to play before I come back over here with the Beach Boys, because I haven't played with them for so long. But anyhow, that's the VGA. If you're interested in playing on the VGA, then you can go to, I think it's VGA.org, and you can sign up there. And it will give you, when you sign up and everything, it'll give you the whole season, the schedule as to where they're playing, and you can, make your choices where you want to play at that time. Hawaii State Golf Association. The tournaments are heating back up. This new season has started. Officially, it started December with the Hawaii State Open, the one that I did not play, and Randy Kish, my fellow competitor that we're seeing who can win the most tournaments between the two of us this year, or who can finish higher in the standings for the tournaments this year. So he did play in it. He played pretty good. Finished, I want to say 5th place maybe. So he's got some points. He's ahead of me in points already for the beginning of the season. And of course, Jonathan Oda won the tournament. But so this season's getting underway. The next tournament is going to be Mid-Pac Open, and that's not until April 25th through the 28th. I thought that we played the Hawaii State Amateur in March, but apparently we don't. That's going to be I think it's in June or July. So I think July. So Mid-Pac is going to be the next tournament, April 25th through the 28th. At another great course there in Mid-Pacific in Kailua. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Murph, a passionate golfer and host of the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I have been involved in the golf industry for over a decade, and my passion for the game has only grown stronger over the years. Through my podcast, I strive to bring the latest news, insights, and interviews with professionals and amateurs in the golf world. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, my goal is to provide valuable information and entertainment that will enhance your golfing experience. So if you're looking to improve your swing, stay updated on the latest golf trends, or simply connect with fellow golf enthusiasts, be sure to tune into the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. Together, let's take our love of golf to the next level. And remember, the best way to stay connected is to subscribe to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast and join our growing community of golf enthusiasts. So hit that subscribe button and join me on this exciting journey. All right, welcome back, everybody. So PGA news. Had a few tournaments go on. The first tournament, January 4th through the 7th, was the Century tournament at Kapalua Plantation Course on Maui. That is the tournament where all the former winners from the year before go and play. And Chris Kirk was the winner of that tournament by one stroke over Sahith Theegala, shooting 29 under. And so Sahith finished second, and then Jordan Spieth followed up in third place in that tournament. And then the next tournament was the one we went to support our boy Hunter Larson, and that was the Sony Open over on Oahu, played at Wailea Country Club. Great course, love that course. And that tournament, it was pretty cool because there was Sahith Theegala was there. We saw him, and we saw what's that guy's name? He played well in the in that one tournament. I can't think of his name. Anyhow, Sahith, he's I think going to be one of my favorite players on tour this year also. But Grayson Murray ended up winning the tournament, and it was in a one-hole playoff. They went back. There was three of them tied at 17 under, and they went back and played hole number 18. And then he got in a playoff with Byon Hun Un and what's his name? Keegan Bradley. So they got into a one-hole playoff, and Grayson ended up winning it. So he won, and like I said before, our own Hunter Larson, a PGA professional here on the Big Island, he played in it by qualifying. He won the Aloha Section PGA Club Championship or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I want to try to get him on the podcast next week, if possible, just to talk to him. I think I'm pretty sure this was his first entry and playing in the Sony Open. He did not play all that great, but man, it can be a lot of pressure being in your first PGA professional tournament. And he didn't play great, but he played better the second day. He missed the cut, and I want to talk to him and just get his take on the tournament and how he felt. Like I said, I know he's going to tell me he didn't play, he wasn't happy with the way he played. He's a great player. His score is not indicative of what type of player this guy is. He is really, really good. And so I want to pick his brain about that. Hopefully next week I'll have him on the show on Monday. But another local guy, Blaze Akana, he's at UH. He's a student at UH and on their golf team. He also qualified through the Governor's Cup, and he also missed the cut. He played not great, but not horrible. And I think maybe this was Blaze's first time in the Sony Open too. I don't know that for a fact, but I think it was. But he's another great player. They're both great players, man. And then this past weekend, we had the American Express, and that was played at the Pete Dye Stadium course in La Quinta, California. Unbelievably, amateur Nick Dunlap, who is on the golf team at Georgia, University of Georgia, he ended up winning the tournament by one stroke over Christian, I'm going to mess up his last name, Bezivendut or something like that. I'm sorry if I massacred your name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Nick ended up shooting 29 under, and he is the first amateur to win a PGA Tour event since 1991 when Phil Mickelson did it as an amateur. So congrats to Nick Dunlap. The bad thing is that as an amateur, he doesn't get the money. So Christian Bezivendut, if that's how his name is pronounced, He ended up collecting $1.5 million, even though he came in second place. He got first place money since he was a pro and the other guy was just an amateur. So, yeah. So congrats to Nick. Sorry, buddy. He was also going to play in this next tournament in the Farmers Insurance Open, but he withdrew because of winning this past weekend. And I can kind of understand that. I mean, maybe he wants to relax, and he won a tournament, so it's not like he, has to do anything to try to win another one, but he got a sponsor exemption into this one, and also in the American Express, the one that he won. So maybe he'll turn pro. There's been talk. I don't know how true it is, but they're like, oh, Live Golf is interested in him and stuff. And I know Phil Mickelson and somebody else, Brooks or somebody, sent him a message about, congrats on winning and all that stuff. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, but who knows? I know he's made mention that he wants to, have a legacy, and he's chasing Tiger Woods, and, he's not trying to be cocky about it. He's just saying, that's who he kind of wants to fashion himself after and try to win a bunch of tournaments. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. The next tournament coming up this weekend is the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines, both the North Course and the South Course. They'll play both. That's in San Diego, California. The defending champion in that tournament, and he will be defending, is Max Homa. So good luck to those guys. Let's take another short break, and we'll be right back. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you have the best music taste out of all your friends and coworkers? The best way to prove it is to stay ahead of all the amazing upcoming talent. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There's some artists out of Ohio that you should definitely be aware of. Decasso, D-C-A-S-S-O, yes, like Picasso, just released a new music video for his song Going Back. This rapper turned singer has an upcoming album this year full of beautiful ballads, R&B slow jams, and hard-hitting rap records. Head to www.smartboystudios.com as soon as you're done listening to this episode of Murph's Place to watch the music video. While you're there, check out the phenomenal C-Money Baby, the Songbird, Corey Gossett, and all the top-tier talent that the Smart Boy production team are working with, such as Eamon Jones, July, 10 Tempo, TYS Markey, D Knight, and much, much more. If you or someone you know needs quality production, mixing, or mastering, just head to the website www.smartboystudios.com and fill out the contact form. You can support Smart Boy Studios by going to shop.smartboystudios.com to buy merch, or linktree.com/smartboystudios to check out the Discord server, new releases, and merch. All right, welcome back, everybody. So Korn Ferry Tour, as you guys know, we had our Brent Grant watch on the PGA Tour this past year. Unfortunately, Brent did not retain his card for the PGA Tour, but lucky enough that he has playing rights on the Korn Ferry Tour. So, backing up this year, again, we will be having our Brent Grant watch on the Korn Ferry Tour in his attempt to regain his PGA Tour card. So Korn Ferry, they kicked their season off this week, and they played the Great Abaco Classic in the Bahamas. Now, they got 2 rounds in, and play got suspended because of the weather. And so as of now, Ross Steelman is leading at 5 under, along with Walker Lee. They're both tied. Brent did play. He was in the field. He shot 77-71, and at this time, he's 4 over after finishing his second round, but they have to finish their second round, and I think they did that today. So they're going to finish their second round, and then we'll see where the cut's going to be. Right now, currently, the cut is like +3, so he's just outside of the cut line, but those other guys need to finish their round. And if they don't play well, they don't have good scores, it may push the cut to 4 or maybe even 5, and Brent has a chance to get in. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, let's hope that he's able to make the cut and get in. Now, our other guy that we were watching on the Korn Ferry Tour is Jared Sawada, and I did not see Jared in the field for this event. So, but we'll keep an eye on those guys and find out what's going on. Like I said, we're rooting for Brent, and again, Brent has already confirmed he will be on the show. I just gotta find some time to get him in, and I kind of want to save it for our 100th episode, which is coming up here shortly. And so, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. We normally don't talk about the PGA Tour champions, but I am going to briefly talk about them tonight because they did play the Mitsubishi Electric Championship over here at Hualalai Golf Course on the Big Island this past weekend. And your winner of that tournament was Steven Alker. He shot 25 under to win by 4 shots over Harrison Fraser. Now, Steve Stricker, one of my favorite players on that tour, him and Bernard Langer, he ended up finishing in 3rd place. So congrats to those guys. And like I said, we don't normally cover them, but I wanted to talk about it because they were here at Hualalai, another great course over here. I love that course. I've only got to play it once, but it's one of my favorites over here. So congrats to those guys. So just a quick recap or not a recap, but a quick review on the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro launch monitor. I bought this thing because I want to get obviously work on some different things in my golf swing, and this thing records your golf swing, records in slow motion the impact of your club to the golf ball, and then it measures 13 different metrics from carry to total distance to smash factor to descent angle to dispersion. I mean, there's a lot of things that it does, and I have used it and it works perfectly fine. All the reviews that they had with this thing, comparing them to machines that cost $7,000 and $8,000 and $9,000 and $10,000, is just as good. It gets the same. They were pretty much on a couple of them having almost the exact same numbers that this thing recorded, and it's at the fraction of a cost, $699, $700. You get a pack of. Now, the only thing that's kind of unfortunate about it, and you have to use it with a hitting net if you're going to do this, but it does measure spin axis and spin, but you have to use these Callaway certain balls that have these black dots on them in different locations for them to register that spin and spin axis. That's the only bad thing, because like on the range, you want to do that, but if you hit those balls, then, you're going to lose them, and they're not cheap. So you have to get those numbers hitting into a net. It has comes with a 1-year membership for the premium features. So it has 30,000 course. It's also a simulator. You can play different courses. I played Augusta on it the other day, and it's top of the line for the cost. You're not going to find anything better, and it's very good at helping you. Like, it helped me decide which shaft I was going to use in my driver, because I switched out and looked at the numbers, and so I know which shaft that I need to play in my driver. And that's really important, especially with getting fitted, knowing which shaft you should be using, which is the better one. But yeah, if you guys like it, if you're interested in stuff like that, for $699, $700, you're not going to beat it. You can't beat it. And like I said, it's very comparable. You can go online and look at the reviews. It's just a really good item, and I enjoy it. So anyhow, I thought I'd share that with you guys. That's going to wrap it up for the show tonight. Like I said, try to get Hunter on here next week for an interview and talk to him about his Sony experience. Man, it was so fun watching him, and also frustrating knowing the type of player that he is and how things turned out for him. But that's the pressure of playing on the PGA Tour, and if you don't do it on a regular basis, it can be hard to deal with. Although, look at Nick Dunlap, the amateur, going to school at Georgia, ended up playing well and winning an event. So anyhow, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys have been safe. Hopefully you guys are getting out playing some golf, and working on your game, trying to get better if that's what you want to do. Otherwise, just have fun. That's mainly what it's about, is having fun and enjoying yourself. So anyhow, be safe. Thank you guys for listening to the show. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to listen and supporting the podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, there is a spot you can do that on. I do ask you guys, if you're going to listen to the podcast, please do it on Spotify so that they recognize my numbers, and it feeds the algorithm so that I can do ad reads. And that would really help out a lot if you could listen to it on Spotify. And it doesn't cost anything. It's free. But there is a spot there if you like to help support the podcast. I do appreciate those that do. And I hope everybody is staying safe. If you guys are playing golf, hit them long, hit them straight, but don't hit them very often. Aloha, everybody.